Sham! Hello again and welcome back to another fun-filled episode of Monday Night Magic here on the MTG Cast Network. I am Chewie, and you should be warned that I have, choking issues, so I don't know if I'm have fluid in my lungs or if I'm dying or
respiratory challenges
or if I'm just having respiratory challenges or what. And also, I managed to hurt my back today. So if you suddenly hear me go, huh, that's what it is. Don't worry about it. I'll be fine in a couple days.
Never take con as a dump stat.
It is not, actually. My dump stat was strength.
Oh, well, it's a good thing you put your points into charisma at least.
Right? So, yeah, that is Squee that you hear there with me. Hey, buddy.
Woo! Yeah, we're like bards who can't sing. It's awesome.
We are, yeah. Me.
Performance. Oratory skills. Not enough wisdom for good perception.
Oh.
We don't know what these decks do.
I don't know what these stats do, because I don't play Final Fantasy 13.
Me neither.
Or whatever game that's from. So.
Minecraft.
Right, I don't play Minecraft. Although if I did, I'd use the MTG skin pack. Cha-ching.
Ding.
So yeah, hi.
Hi.
It's been, well, it hasn't been a little while. We recorded last week.
Been a week, dude.
Never mind.
It feels like forever ago, but it's been a week.
Yeah, it does for some reason. Also, now, when we recorded last, the banned and restricted list was going to update the next day because for some reason Tuesday is just when they decided to do it.
Yep.
Like a bunch of dumbs. And we predicted that everything was fine, nothing is ruined.
That was our prediction.
And if we go to the banned and restricted lists update from last week, it turns out everything is fine, nothing is ruined.
Yay. In accordance with prophecy.
Yep. It says the competitive balance of all the major formats are in healthy places at this point, so we are making no changes. Now, when I say all the major formats, I think what they mean is Standard, Modern, Legacy.
And I would say they're probably also throwing in Vintage in there since they did do Vintage changes at one point recently. Those are the only four they ever talk about, though.
Well, they also didn't want to make a change immediately before Eternal Weekend, which was this weekend.
Right. So. And they acknowledge that.
Yeah, they might be making some changes afterwards, but we'll get to that shortly.
Yeah, they did note that also coming up in January, they do not anticipate making any changes to Modern right before the Modern Pro Tour. So
right.
If it happens, it's real broken.
Yeah,
but
it means something
January.
happened in the interim to completely destroy the world.
Yeah. But yeah, the next one will be January 15. So
Ooh. What day of the week is that?
It's a Monday.
Hey, all right. Back on point. Good job, WotC.
Go team.
Goobers. So, yeah, there you go. Everything's fine. Nothing is ruined. People who pay attention to Vintage might slightly disagree, but we'll get to that shortly.
Yeah.
And let's see here. First, though, let's go back to Nationals.
Doodly-doo.
Okay, we don't actually need all that. We're only going back to Nationals to point out that the deck lists from all of the Nationals tournaments that happen, the top 8 anyway, are in this link in the show notes. So if you want to see how that all shook out, there you go.
Yep.
This third round of Nationals were the only ones with new standard. The other 2 weeks of Nationals were before Ixalan came out, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So there you go. If you're at all interested in that, that's where you find them. Links in the show notes. Have a party.
Yeah.
So, Eternal Weekend happened.
Yeah, dude. Speaking of the past, Eternal Weekend.
Yeah. So, as usually happens around this time of year, Card Titan does Eternal Weekend North America. Oh, this was in Pittsburgh. Is it usually in Pittsburgh? I thought it was usually elsewhere.
I think it's usually elsewhere.
Okay. Seems like, nope. If I say something wrong, then people yell at me. So never mind.
It is usually on the moon.
That's what I thought, actually. Yeah.
Which is why we haven't been there since the 70s.
With all the green cheese and the Martians and the Crash Transformer ship. And the Manhunters. Jesus. So, we're not going to go too in-depth into this at all.
Yeah.
But we are going to run through the top 8 decks for these and give a quick look at the metagame breakdown. So, first place was Sultai Delver by Hans Jacob Godek.
And this is the Legacy.
Legacy. Did I not say that? Yes, this is Legacy. Look at all that Legacy. In second place, Eric Virgo was playing Teamer Delver. Look at all them Delvers. In third place, Bob Huang is playing Grixis Delver. Are you serious?
I see.
We got 3 different flavors of Delver in the top 8. That's pretty funny.
Hey, what matters is you're running 3 colors, and one of them is the color you run in Legacy. Sorry, Clues.
Blue.
Yeah.
It was the sorry clues that gave it away. See, that was what you call a context clues.
Ooh. Let me write that down in my clues tone.
Yeah.
That's the one that gets you. That terrible joke is the one that gets you.
It was so bad.
It's so bad you're making Muttley laugh.
It was
That's
so bad that it wrapped around and got funny again. Okay. In fourth place, Hani Alnimer, close enough, was running Esper Deathblade. In fifth place, Andrei Strosky was running the Czech Pile, which, could someone please tell me why it's called Czech Pile? Just tweet at me, at the Mana Pool. I want to know why it's called Czech Pile. Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
In sixth place, Luke Blum was running a Grixis Delver deck. And eighth place, Seth Black was running Eldrazi. Ooh, the Eldrazi Menace.
That was seventh place.
What did I say?
You said eighth, but
that was
came after
seventh
six,
place.
so people should probably know that anyway.
Six, then 7, right, because 7, 8, 9. Got it, okay.
Well, which is why 9's not on this list.
Yeah, and then in eighth place, like for realsies this time, Brian Koval was running a Grixis Delver deck.
It's like Delver's a ridiculously good 1-mana creature in the most popular color.
In a format where you can use Brainstorm and stuff.
Yeah.
So the metagame breakdown here, there were 711 people playing. And the Czech Pile deck was actually the most represented deck with 60, 8.44%. Then it was Grixis Delver, which, with 3 in the top 8 shouldn't really be a surprise, with 57. Sneak and Show at 49, Reanimator with 48, Death and Taxes with 46, Lands with 43, and then there's a significant drop to Eldrazi with 29.
Yeah.
But, the top 8 is what? Sure, it's 1, 2, 3, 5 Delver decks, but it's 3 different flavors of Delver, and I think they're different enough to where that's fine.
Yeah, like when you're swapping the colors, you're going to get a different deck, even if it tries to do the same thing. This isn't like, we've got Jeskai, and then we added 1 color and dropped another one, and this affects 8 cards in it. Like, no, these are different decks. They have different creatures, they're doing different things with their spells. They just are all running super busted Delver.
Yeah, like this one's running, the Sultai one is running Sylvan Library and Tombstalker and Hymn to Turok. The Teamer one is running Hooting Mandrills, Nimble Mongoose, and let's see, is there anything else really weird? Forked Bolt, wow.
Interestingly, even though both decks run blue, the Teamer one runs True Name Nemesis.
Yeah. And then the Grixis one is running things like Zombie Fish, Gurmag Angler, and Young Pyromancer. So, they're different enough in the way they play to where they're pretty much different dish decks.
Yeah, there's going to be overlap when you're playing with some of the best cards possible and you're running the colors that support them, but it's not small. So
exactly, yeah.
So that's Legacy,
If you count the 3 different Delver decks as 3 different Delver decks, then there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different decks in the top 8.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good. And the metagame breakdown, the highest percentage shown is 8.4%. So just under 8.5% of the field was running the Czech Pile.
Yeah.
So nothing's really running away with it, it doesn't appear. At least
and they're just different kinds of decks, too. Because you've got the Czech Pile and Delver, which are similar as I understand it. But then you have Sneak and Show, Reanimator, Death and Taxes, Lands, and Eldrazi. Like, these are different.
Yeah.
They're different. They play differently. They're different types of decks. Like, this is a good variety.
Yeah, and stuff gets weird as you go further down. Mono Red Moon, Turbo Depths. Is it Delver? Of course, stuff like Miracles is still around somehow. Infect, Burn, Elves. There were more Elves decks and Burn decks than there were Miracles decks, so Clues is happy.
Yeah.
And you get weird stuff like Food Chain and Nick Fit, Merfolk, Allurin, Charbelcher, Landstill, Pox. There's all kinds of crazy stuff going on. So yeah, Legacy seems pretty good. Yeah, seems good. So let's move over to Vintage, where there were 427 people playing. And you're going to get a lot of the same nonsense here. Andrew Marketon, it looks like, won with a Ravager Shops deck. Good old Shops. Second place, Rich Shea, Shops. Third place, Pat Feeling. Pat's Feelings is running Oath of Druids. In fourth place, Mike Kiesel, Shops. In fifth place, Ibrahim Aldridge, Oath. Sixth place, Brian Kelly, Oath. Now, granted, these are all a little different, but, I mean, they're essentially the same idea. As far as we can tell, let's bear in mind this is Vintage, and we know nothing about Vintage.
Yeah.
In seventh place, Brian Durkin, Shops. In eighth place, Eric Virgo, Shops. So, you'll notice there were only 2 archetypes in the top 8. 1, 2, 3, 5 Shops decks, and 3 Oath of Druids decks.
There's something interesting to be said when we get down to the metagame breakdown, too.
Hey, yeah, let's go look at that. So, the number 1 archetype played with 18.03% of the meta, 77 decks, was not Shops. It was Blue Control.
Mm-hmm.
But coming in close with 72 decks was the Shops decks.
Yeah.
And then, now, granted, this is for the entire tournament, so it could be that people were playing Blue Control because it's, I don't know, easier to build for a Vintage deck. I have no idea. Because we have no.
Probably more affordable.
Possibly. I mean, as far as Vintage goes, maybe.
I mean, you're paying in on the blue no matter what you're running, right?
Probably, yeah. With 40, now there's a dramatic drop with 44 decks that are Eldrazi, and 43 that are Dredge, and only 41 that are Oath. That's 9.6% of the field. And then there's another dramatic drop with 26 decks called Paradoxical. And I'm sure if you play Vintage, then you go, oh, but we don't. I have no idea what Paradoxical is. Do you?
No, dude.
Okay, then. But there were 26 of those and 26 Delver decks. Oddly enough, the other category is next with 25 card decks.
Yeah.
And then Bugfish. What's Bug? That's black, blue, green, so Sultai fish.
Yeah.
Big Blue.
Probably zombie fish, I hope. I wish. Probably not.
Big Blue with 18, Combo, all it says is Combo, with 17 and 14 decks that are named Null Rod.
I'm going to assume Combo is actually a snack food that people just turned in instead of a deck list.
And Null Rod, they just had a deck of 60 Null Rods? I don't see how Null Rod is a deck. It sounds like that's a tool that goes in decks. So I have no idea what is going on with any of these. But again, it's Vintage. We don't play Vintage, and not enough people do for us to learn it.
Yeah, I mean, we would be capable of figuring this out, obviously, but we don't have to because it doesn't come up often enough.
Yeah. There's
a link at the very bottom that goes to the feature match deck list, which gives you a little bit more of the field. Like you can see round 2's feature match was Grixis Pyromancer versus Dredge, if you want to see what those kinds of decks look like, since we don't have a lot of variety at the top.
Paradoxical Oath. Paradoxical Outcome. Oh,
okay.
Okay,
that's cool.
Hang on, I have to look up Paradoxical Outcome. Paradoxical Outcome. Oh, Kaladesh card. Return any number of target non-land, non-token permanents you control to their owner's hands. Draw a card for each card returned to your hand this way. Holy crap! That's wow. With a bunch of wait, does this deck have a lot of cheap? Yeah, it does.
You mean like Moxen?
Yeah. Wait.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh, that's Mox Opal. I was like, wait, there are 2. It's Opal. It's fine. It's fine.
It's the safe one.
Yeah. Okay, so this deck is insane.
It's drawing itself.
Yeah. And it's got Oath of Druid, so
I like how when you're looking at deck list and Vintage, it goes lands and mana sources together. It doesn't bother splitting the Moxen out for the rest of the artifacts.
Which I appreciate.
No, it's much better this way. This is a much more fair way to look at it.
Yeah. So then let's see. Jeskai Mentor and Ravager Shops. Shops versus Shops. Grixis Thieves and Jeskai Painter. Oh, God. Grixis Control Mirror. Shops versus Merfolk. Grixis Control versus Oath. Shops versus Shops. Okay.
Yeah, as you get closer to the end of the day, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some deck lists at least to check out. We gave you something.
True. And again, if you are into Vintage, then one, you don't listen to us for Vintage news, clearly.
I hope
And two,
not.
if you're into Vintage, you probably know all this already. And if not, hey, we've got you links. You should go listen to I only know of one Vintage podcast, and that's So Many Insane Plays. So if there are others, please let me know and I will plug them. But you can find So Many Insane Plays here on MTGcast whenever they post, which is infrequently.
Is it more or less frequent than vintage events?
I don't know when vintage events happen, so let's say more.
That's fair. Yeah, let's hope so.
But anyway, so that was Eternal Weekend.
Yay.
The Shops decks have always been brutal, and it doesn't look like that's going to change anytime soon, unless something gets banned. I don't see them banning the deck, but I don't know. I have noticed over the years they keep trying to like just slow it down a bit, you know, or take away a toy here and there, or give back something that might help against them, or something like that. But doesn't look like it's working. What was the last? They restricted Thorn and Monastery Mentor. Oh, because Monastery Mentor was actually a major problem. And so they restricted it. And then before that, in April, they restricted Gitaxian Probe and Gush. They've restricted Lodestone Golem last year. They restricted Chalice and Dig Through Time last year, or the year before that. Like, they're trying.
Yeah, they're not abandoning the format.
It's this weird mix of, like, keeping the blue decks from taking over, and then keeping the Shops decks from taking over. It's very strange to me, but I don't understand the format at all. So let's not talk about it anymore.
Yeah.
So let's go to the SCG Open, which was in Cincinnati.
Yep. And if you're clicking on this link at work, you bet it's going to autoplay at you.
Yeah, it is. Be sure to run down there and hit pause before it starts. So there were 773 people playing.
In the Modern Open.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Shall we kick it off with Humans?
Yeah, Collins Mullen won playing the Humans deck. With, again, we talked about this in Standard last week, Kitesail Freebooter. And a hiccup. The Kitesail Freebooter, not only was he just the card showing up in Standard deck lists seemingly out of nowhere, but now it's made its way to Modern.
I actually think it fits well here, because when your deck is running, a wide variety of humans, it doesn't actually have a lot of cards to let you look at your opponent's hand.
Yeah. And even though the Freebooter is like the 5th color or 6th color or 8th color,
it doesn't even matter, man.
Yeah, it's running Ether Vial, and as we determined during the odds and ends, it's running 4 copies each of Cavern of Souls, Unclaimed Territory, and Ancient Ziggurat. Like,
yeah.
This deck is not playing around. It's, you know what? I'll play whatever the hell I want. And if I don't have the mana, I've got Ether Vial.
Yeah.
So, yeah. This deck looks, fairly brutal, actually.
Yeah, I'm imagining, say they turn 1, drop the Champion of the Parish, just like basic opening. You drop your Champion. Turn 2 has so many things that can follow that up. That aside from, you got a bigger champion and that's terrifying, but like they're doing stuff very actively. You got your Freebooter, which is potentially messing up their hand.
Yep.
You've got your
the Mayor, which is pumping your champion.
Yeah, you've got the Mayor. You've got Thalia if you don't want them to do anything right now.
Yeah.
And for the added sick bonus, if you drop the Freebooter early, then you're going to get a lot more fun out of that Meddling Mage.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it's clean.
He's not wrong.
And like, that's assuming that you aren't just busting Ether Vial open at the start.
Dang.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. That's the Humans deck.
Huma.
Stop loading. It's just sitting here loading forever. There we go. In second place, there is a blue-red Gift Storm deck by Scott Simmons.
Keep adding words to that title.
Yeah, right? And wait a minute. I got a message about this. AJ said, Humans resolved a turn 2 meddling mage naming Grape Shot in the first match of the finals, and the Storm player scooped in response.
Ooh. Ooh.
I would just like to say, damn it, that's comedy.
Oh, well, let's take a look at what they could have tried to do and understand why.
Nothing.
Yep.
I mean, he could have tried to beat him to death with Barrel and Goblin Electromancer, but against humans,
I
no.
don't think that's the plan.
So, yeah, let's hope he boarded in some Empty the Warrens just right now. Just, you know what? You win. Go to game 2. Let me get these alternate win condition here.
Yeah, that's... Like, yeah, I'm going to dismember that guy.
Yeah, I bet he put
I'll pay life for that.
some dismember and or lightning bolts just to get around that. Because you only need, with the Storm deck, you only need 1 turn.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's funny. That was funny. Scott Simmons, in case I didn't say that, I can't remember. In third place, Ben Reagan is running the Counters Company deck.
Yep.
Good old Counters Company. Is it running? Yep. There's the Vizier and there's the Druid. Okay, just checking. In fourth place, Jeremy Bertarioni?
That's what I would guess.
Let's go with that. Is running a blue-green Merfolk deck. This one has 1 each of Kira Great Glass Spinner and Kopala Warden of Waves. Still not quite sure how this deck is going to end up shaking out, like what the ideal build is, but he's only running, as far as the green ones, he's only running the Kumina Speaker. Oh, no, there's the Branch Walker. Never mind, I was wrong.
Hooray.
So, yeah.
Boring is fun.
Fish. In fifth place, Kenyon Collins is running Infect. Good old Sorry. That was my bag.
Don't die.
I moved wrong. Whew. Okay, I'm back now. Yeah, in fact, nothing really.
Question.
For
the fourth place deck, back with the Merfolk.
Back with the Merfolk, yes.
Deeproot Waters in the decks we were looking at last week, I don't remember. That's the enchantment that makes fish tokens with hexproof.
I have no idea.
Well, there are 2 of them in the board here, just FYI.
There are. I can't remember if we spotted those in the board last week or not.
This is why it's weird when some of the cards are popping across 2 formats and it's a new card.
Yeah.
I can see how that would fit in here, obviously, because it's more fish and it's harder to deal with fish.
Yeah. Like, sure, getting a free Merfolk with everything you cast. Like, there's an elf that does that, and it's terrifying, but those are elves, and the thing that does it is an elf itself.
Yeah.
This is just an enchantment that sits there. But when the dudes you make are hexproof and you have any number of lords out, then they're kind of terrifying, and that 3 mana was an okay expense.
I would wager each one of these creatures you cast, because remember, it's cast, so the Aetherfell's not doing it, but for each one you cast, you're probably going to drop like a 3/3 or 4/4 with hexproof if things are going well.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
A little bit.
Yeah.
So in 6th place, Andrew Ellenbogen is running Decepticons, also known as Affinity.
Yep.
They are, in fact, exactly what your eye would expect. They are not more than meets the eye.
Their name is misleading, at most. They're not very deceptive. You know exactly who they are.
And what was it? In the first Transformers movie, instead of to protect and to serve, that was on the stupid...
Oh, is it like enslave and conquer or something?
Something. It was like to something and enslave, but I forget what it was. But yeah, it's really obvious.
Yeah.
So in 7th place, Chase Masters is running a black-white Eldrazi Texas deck. Sort of what you'd expect. And in 8th place, Jesse Hefner is running Death and Taxes. So yeah, there you go. You like hate bears? We got hate bears. Running through some more, like the top 16, Jeskai control, Ad Nauseam, a blue-white control, Counters Company, 5-color Death Shadow. Wait, is this the thing that we've seen before?
I believe so.
Yeah, it looks to be. Okay, just making sure. A Bant Company, another Storm, and another Storm. If I keep scrolling, there's an Abzan Company in 19th. Grixis Death Shadow in 20s, 2 Scape Shifts, 21 and 22. There's that green-red Ponza deck again in 23.
Yeah, you gotta put out a bait trap if you want to deal with those.
What, a Ponza?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
No, you're just saying it like it was some kind of pest that was creeping in.
A little bit, actually, yeah. All right, so that was the Open.
Yep, that was the Modern Open. And because you're tweeting, the Decepticon was Barricade, and it was to punish and enslave.
Punish and enslave. There we go. I knew it was to something and enslave. And it was like, It started with a P, but my brain couldn't come up with punish. Probably because of the pain. So, the Modern Classic. There we go.
Yeah.
And whoops. How many people were in this? I clicked away. 206.
Yeah.
206 people playing, and Peter Tubergen won, playing Decepticons. And then in second place, Jan Alexander Chouinard. Jan Alexander C. is running also Decepticons. What? Na.
Punish and enslave.
That's awful.
Yeah, I didn't write it.
In third place, Zachary Creamer is running Burn. Oh, good old Legacy Burn, even though it's modern. Fourth place, Robert Mania. I had Robert Mania once. Thank goodness the fever came down. He's running a deck called Mardu. Have you looked at this?
I feel like I've seen this deck before.
Possibly. It's got 4 Nahiri and 1 Sorin, Solemn Visitor.
Yeah.
1 each of Gurmag Angler, Emrakul, the Eon's Torn, and Kalitas, and then every manner of black, white, and red removal or misery spell you could ever want.
This is pretty much, it's accurately named. This is a Mardu deck. When you think of Mardu decks, what cards are in? Well, you got your Crackling Dooms, you got your Kolaghan's Commands. If you remember this standard, it's here. They've just put it into Modern, and they have more nasty cards to play with.
Yep. Along with the Nahiri Emrakul thing.
Yeah.
It's like a greatest hits of modern legal removal and disruption. And Lingering Souls.
Yeah. Like, if you were to actually build some kind of probably more expensive than it should be pre-constructed deck based on Mardu, these are the cards that would be in it.
Yeah.
Like, even in about these numbers, probably.
Nice. So, in 5th place, we have Green Red Devotion by Anthony. Are you really?
I want to hear you say it.
Hang on. It's gonna be something like ship check or something, right? Like,
presumably.
But let's do it way wrong, just for the purposes of keeping up our streak. Anthony Skrzybkazak. There.
Skurzimzak.
Who's running what I said, Green Red Devotion, right? Yeah.
Yeah, let's just get his first name wrong too, just to make it abundantly clear. So this is Ant Honey.
Ant Honey Skrzybkazak, yeah.
We are so sorry.
Yeah,
we are so sorry.
I am so sorry.
We are not trying to make fun of you. We are just at a loss.
Yeah.
This is entirely on us.
Anyway, yeah, he's got Green Red Devotion with such glorious things as Chameleon Colossus and Craterhoof Behemoth and Primeval Titan and Hornet Queen.
Got a Carnage Tyrant in the board, though.
Oh, look at that. Wow.
Dinosaur.
Oh my god, there's a Rurik Thar in the main. Yes! Sick! Oh god, look at the Planeswalkers! 2 Garruk Relentless,
you like that?
4 Garruk Wildspeaker, sick, and 3 Nissa Voice of Zendikar.
Yeah. The affordable end of the green Planeswalker pool.
Man. And then, of course, well, there's Nykthos and Kessig Wolfrun, because duh.
Yep.
Is that really all of the devotion is just Nykthos? Yeah, it appears that's the case.
I think so.
I love it.
I mean, it's a really good one. Like, ramp is taken, right?
Excuse me. Pain again. Okay.
I wonder if sometimes they regret Nykthos.
Since it really only pops up in like very specific decks, I don't think so.
I mean, it works. It's good for it. I think that Nykthos is probably one of those cards that is allowed to thrive because of the revised legendary rule.
That could be.
Under the old one, it would have just been nasty, and you would never run 4 of them.
And like in Standard, it was god awful. It was just everywhere, and oh god. But now that it's...
You were behind if you weren't doing it.
Yeah, exactly. But now that it's not in Standard anymore, and you have to do ridiculous things to play competitively in Modern, it's probably fine.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they also appreciate it pushing people to not just make 5-color good stuff decks. So
could be.
Okay.
Nice. So moving on, that was 5th and 6th place. Emma Handy, look at her, is running Infect because I guess she likes lunch.
Do you want to see something different about this Infect deck?
Oh, let me click on it. There's a Flippy Jace in it. Is that different?
I mean, that's maybe different. I don't know. I was looking at the 2 copies of Shaper's Sanctuary in the sideboard.
Ah,
yeah.
That's pretty funny.
In an Infect deck, yeah. Shaper's Sanctuary is a single green rare enchantment. When a creature you control becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, you may draw a card. What's going to happen in this deck?
They're going to try to kill your thing before it kills them.
Yeah.
So you're going to be drawing cards.
Yeah, it's very basic, but you just draw another of that thing. And then you try again. Like, you don't actually have to go all in the way you normally would.
Pretty good. Let's see. In 7th place, Vince Biamonte is running Eldrazi Tron. And in 8th place, Peter Krim is running Eldrazi Tron.
Yep. And the
sort of similar decks, but
and the Sorcerer's Spyglass made its way in.
Sorceress Spyglass in the board of the 7th.
In the board of the 7th place deck.
Nice.
It's fun seeing new cards make their way into Modern.
It is. Just to run through the rest of the top 16, we've got another Storm deck. Excuse me, a Mono Green Tron in 10th, Counters Company in 11th, Ad Nauseam in 12th, Eldrazi Tron, Decepticons, Grixis Death Shadow, and a Jeskai Control rounding out top 16.
Yep.
Nice. So hey, let's talk about Standard.
Okay.
How many people were playing Standard?
134 people were playing Standard. I'll make a note that the Star City Games website does not list the correct final standings because they repeated the Modern one by accident. So to get the numbers, I had to go to earlier rounds. But I think the top 16 is probably correct. But if you're going for your spot in the standings in there, hopefully they posted them better somewhere else.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, these are definitely Standard decks.
Yeah. The decks are fine. It was just, I go to the standings to get the number of people since they don't post it in any clean way. And then I noticed when I looked at it that it was suspiciously the same list that we got from the Modern Classic. So
whoops.
Just be aware of that if you decide to go in there and see where your friend plays. You might want to ask them instead.
Could be. So let's see what we've got here. In first place, Frank Scarron is running Teamer Energy. Oh, Carnage Tyrant. I wonder if it's like Fetch, like to keep trying to make Carnage Tyrant happen.
I mean, it's really cool.
It is. It's not that I want it to fail. It's just that so many cards just like it have never done anything. So,
I think it's floating in that category of what else can I get for 6 mana? And right now, the better question is simply, are they still alive after you hit them with 3 Glory Bringers?
So let's see. In second place, Jacob Tilk is running Mardu Vehicles. Oh, look, it's DePaula.
Yeah.
And Veteran Motorist. Okay, that's that version.
They're driving stuff.
Got it. Cool.
I hope the Rampaging Ferocidon and the board gets to drive cars. I'm just imagining you. The best road rage.
Dinosaur is driving. How can this be?
It's Cadillacs and dinosaurs all over again.
No! Did you know that was
fun.
one of those arcade beat 'em ups?
I did.
That was one that I somehow either forgot about or just never saw.
It was fun.
That's what I heard, yeah. Anyway, so if you've got MAME, look up Cadillacs and Dinosaurs.
Ask your uncles.
And ask you. So in third place, Jim Davis is playing Ramanop Red. Ooh, yep. Check out that one combat celebrant in there. That's kind of sexy.
Are we referring to the art or the card's presence? Because the art looks like it knows it.
Yeah, the card's presence is what I meant. But yeah, the art does look like it knows it. Mm-hmm. But other than that, it's pretty normal. In fourth place, Zerui Zhao, something like that, is running also Ramanop Red without the celebrant because, you know.
Seeing the
not fancy
Rosodons in the board of so many of these decks makes me... Is it because the players can't gain life clauses on it?
I was thinking almost certainly, yeah. Or against other decks that have lots of dudes.
Yeah.
Because sort of like... I think I made this reference before. It's sort of like the Eidolon of the Great Revel in burn decks. Like, yeah, you're taking damage, but you're dealing more to them. And I get the feeling with a deck like this, Rampaging Ferocidon, is like, yeah, it's going to hurt you, but you're hurting them faster.
Yeah, that's fair.
In fifth place, Cody Murray is running a Teamer Energy deck, which, you know, shouldn't surprise anybody at this point. Good old Teamer Energy is all over the place.
It's effective.
In sixth place, we have Sultai Energy, because sometimes you want Glint Sleeve Siphoner instead, and the Scarab God, and Winding Constrictor. So, you know, why not?
Yeah.
Oh, and Vraska's Contempt and Fatal Push. Yeah, okay, look. The black
it does stuff.
All right, you want the black cards. Are you happy? I said it. In seventh place, Jack Comer is running an Abzan Tokens deck. So this is
buddy.
Deck, it's got Anointer Priest, which you'd expect in a Tokens deck.
Mm-hmm.
It's got all of the things that make lots of tokens, like Anointed Procession, and Hidden Stockpile, and Start, as in start to finish, and Legion's Landing, and where... Hey, Bill?
Yeah?
That doesn't seem like enough.
Like enough tokens?
Yeah, Anointed Procession doesn't make tokens, it just makes more.
Yeah.
What you got? Hidden Stockpile, which makes a servo, you know, with raid. Not raid, with revolt. So yeah, to have something leave the battlefield. I mean, Start makes 2 1/1s. Legion's Landing only makes the 1.
Until you flip it. And then you can pay 2 and a white and make vampires.
I was going to say, then it turns into the land that makes dudes. Okay, right. That's a help.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, you do have Vraska Relic Seeker.
Yeah, she also makes tokens. She makes pirates.
Yeah, whose plus ability drops a pirate with Menace. And if you've got Anointed Procession, it drops 2 pirates with Menace, which that gets out of hand in a hurry.
Yeah.
Making Renegade Map is digging through your deck. Treasure Map is making treasure, which is a token.
Yeah.
And is digging through your deck.
Admittedly, getting extra tokens is pretty sweet when the tokens aren't just creatures.
Yeah.
Look, it's ramp. It's cards.
Extra treasure is pretty sick, yeah. I don't know, it's like my brain is telling me that this is kind of light.
Well,
but I've also never actually seen this deck played.
Keep in mind also that every time you sack one of those treasures, don't you get a servo artifact creature token from Hidden Stockpile? Not every time, but like, at the beginning of the end step.
No. Wait, at the beginning of your end step, if a permanent you control left the battlefield this turn, you get a 1/1 servo.
Yeah, it doesn't say non-token permanent.
Yeah, it just says a permanent.
Yeah, so like, I have a feeling that once you've, cheated out your extra treasures and you have all these other things and you start feeding things to Arguel's Bloodfast, once it's flipped and it lets you eat things to get health, you're going to get more tokens and it just continues to feed on itself. I think it's just going to hit a critical mass as a deck. And it has enough things lying around. Its biggest drawback is obviously that it's probably going to be blocking with a lot of these tokens for a while until it can hit critical mass and then stomp.
Although, to be fair, it's running 3 cast out and 4 fatal push and 4 fumigates, so...
Yeah, like, I mean, it's stalling until it can dump enough things to be set up. Yeah. It's kind of like the old Anthem decks, where it's, I'm going to keep doing stuff to keep alive, and after a while I'll have enough of these extra effects going on that don't get board wiped, that everything that I do is on par with what you're doing, but I'm getting 2 or 3 of them, and then I kill you. So that's how I would assume this is going to go.
Not to mention you're getting life from your Anointer Priests the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. I mean, clearly the deck is working because it made 7th.
Yeah.
I'm just not having seen it in action. Like, my idea of a tokens deck is just blah, tokens, but this one doesn't work that way. This is more of the slow burn, it appears. Unless I'm missing something, which is also possible. So
did we actually count the Anointer Priest when we were counting the tokens?
I mean, it only makes 1 apiece, so
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying, like, it adds up. I think it adds up.
Yeah, that's true. With the Anointed Procession, yeah, they do just kind of come back and keep gaining you life.
Oh, that's sick when you have to, them continuing to persist like that. Yeah, it's annoying.
Huh. Yeah.
That was not meant, but yeah. Stupid common word mechanic names.
You'll be all right. And then in 8th place, Chris G is running Teamer Energy again.
Popular choice.
A little bit.
There's a lot of energy decks if you want to just skim over the rest of the top 16.
Yeah, and then running through more, there's... Oh, wow, they're almost all energy. So, yeah. Of the energy variety, in 9th we have Tamer, in 10th we have Jund. What's that? Oh, it's got red-black instead of the blue-black of the Sultai one. Okay. So we've got... Okay, 9th was Tamer, 10th is Jund, 11th is Tamer, 12th is Jund, 13th is Tamer, 14th is... Oh, no, Tamer. We messed it up. 15th is Ramanop Red, and then 16th is Esper tokens. Okay, yeah, this is more along the lines of what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Actually, no, not really. This is about the same idea. It's just got more actual creatures in it.
Yeah. It's using more of the Eternalized mechanic.
Yeah, well, Embalm, too.
Embalm, Eternalized, the variants of the same. Oh, look, it's dead, now it's a token. Flashback for creatures.
Yeah, creature flashback. There you go, that one. Yeah. So there you go. That is the Standard Classic. So hey, that was the SCG Cincinnati.
Yep.
Okay, so let us move on. They issued a statement on, what was that, Friday? Yeah.
Yeah, the 20th.
When I say they, I mean Wizards. That says, I'll just read this because it's short. A number of non-foil, double-sided Ixalan cards in English, Portuguese, Spanish, traditional Chinese, and simplified Chinese, and Korean were mistakenly printed on the incorrect card stock. Although not printed on typical Magic cardstock, these cards contain the unique holofoil stamp applied to all rares and mythic rares that guarantees authenticity. They are real Magic cards made by Wizards of the Coast and are tournament legal. So, yeah. That's a thing.
Yeah, be aware.
So, yeah, this is primarily because people, I assume, were like, these are totally really good fakes. Like, these are counterfeit. The cardstock's wrong. Oh, God, the counterfeiters have figured out the holofoil stamp. We're all screwed. No. They just screwed up.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yep. And again, this is just the double face cards from Ixalan.
And only in those languages.
Yeah.
Which, one more time, English, Portuguese, Spanish, Korean, and traditional and simplified Chinese.
Yes. So if you find a sketchy Japanese or Russian card, it's probably still sketchy.
Probably. And Bill, you made a good point about these before the show. And it's that if they're going to print cards on the wrong cardstock, it's good that they printed the double face cards.
Yeah.
On the wrong cardstock because of the existence of the checklist card.
So you don't have to worry about someone with these perfectly legal cards having some kind of edge when shuffling or something because they're slightly different. They can just use checklist cards.
Yep.
And I would honestly recommend using the checklist cards if you happen to have one of these just to avoid the headache.
Yep.
I promise you can find them. Just hang out around the draft. There will be a lot of them.
Very yep. So there you go. That's a thing.
Yep.
Oh wow, there's really not much else going on.
We already hit the non-tournament news at the start.
Yeah. In today's October 23rd, 2017 Daily Magic Update, the number 5 item here is one of particular interest. So a big thanks to Blake for adding that in. It is episode 483 of the Mana Pool. Yeah. Which is an episode that we were very proud of. We actually put off recording for a week so that we could do it properly. And it's entitled The Nerd Rage episode, where we spoke at length about this phenomenon that I call nerd rage, where for some reason us nerds tend to react immediately and negatively to change of any sort. Just in Magic's recent, extremely recent history, there was the announcement of the Magic MMO, there was the announcement of Arena, and there was the new logo, all of which caused nerds to wail and gnash their teeth for seemingly, to me, no reason. And it really got me thinking about nerd rage in general. And while we talked about a lot of Magic and a little bit of Hearthstone, there are many other examples. And we actually started off the episode with our own examples of our own personal nerd rage that we've had over the years. Like when they took away Mana Burn, I was not happy at all back in the M10 rules change.
Yeah, I remember that.
And like none of us on either of my shows were happy when it turned out it was Emrakul and Eldritch Moon.
Yeah.
All, let's see, 6 of us across 2 shows were like, damn it, why's it gotta be Emrakul? And it doesn't matter. Like,
no.
But we all nerd raged about it. Dirk talked about his nerd rage when the Star Wars Expanded Universe was made not canon. Things like that. Like, we all started with our own nerd rage and then went on to talk about nerd rage and, like, why it happens and things like that. And we talked a lot about the stereotypical nerd and where we think that person is and where they come from. And, of course, that doesn't apply to everybody, but it's general enough and applies to enough people. That sort of thing. And yeah, it was a really good discussion. And like I said, I was very, very proud of it. And it's so awesome to see that episode in the daily update so that more people will go listen to it. Makes me very happy. So if you haven't, I highly recommend you go listen to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I even rather than come up with a clever title, I named it The Nerd Rage episode so that people would be able to find it easily.
Yeah.
Yay. So, Magic Online?
Yeah, we can talk about that. So, as I always start out, Magic Online news is generally posted on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and we record on Mondays, hence the show title. So, most of the Magic Online news I link to is old. Womp womp. Because it refers to events that have already happened. So, I'm going to touch briefly on the ones that are still relevant, but if you want to see the full link, go in the show notes, and if you want to see stuff that's current, go to the Wizards website, then go to Products and Magic Online, on Tuesday, and you'll probably find more current stuff that'll matter for this week. So first up, they want to remind you to use your 2017 qualifier points before the reset. The reset was last week, so sorry.
Whoops.
Haha. That was your warning. See? Look ahead. Yeah. So more importantly, it means if you didn't do it, this is where your points are going away. They're going to go away on the downtime this Wednesday, the 25th. So be aware of that. A little bit more exciting is the fact that triple Innistrad flashbacks are coming back. And by coming back, I mean, of course they're coming back this week. It happens every Halloween.
Yay.
It's still one of the best draft formats ever. It's still got a lot of amazing cards. It's still got a really obnoxious Invisible Stalker with a Cleaver combo. And it's still got way more rare lands than anyone remembers. Holy crap, they just wasted one of your picks. That said, it's a great format and you should play it. If you've played it before, you probably remember fondly. If you haven't played it before, Google it. There have probably been more articles written about that draft format than most anything else, because it's something that all the people that really like drafting go back to time and again. And you'll get everything from here are all the main archetypes to here's how to do this ridiculous thing with a card called Spider Spawning to isn't this great? Isn't this terrible? Why don't vampires ever work? All of that's in there. It's a really good format and it's a lot of fun. So check that out. They do want us to note that the flashback favorites and throwback gauntlet schedule has changed a bit. There's a link to the most up-to-date schedule in there. I'll essentially continue to tell you about those things as they're coming online in the future because it's fun for us to talk about. So, awesome. That's the bulk of the news for Magic Online. That's still relevant. But we can also talk about the bug blog because sometimes it's funny. So the bug blog is a rundown of everything that's broken, how it's broken, sometimes vague descriptions of how it's broken, and also a list of what's been fixed. You should definitely be aware of what's broken because 1, it'll mess with you when you're playing. 2, if your opponents are using it to exploit a bug, you need to report them. And 3, if you get in a bad situation because of a bug, you can put in a reimbursement thing, and it's easier to get reimbursed if it's a known bug, but also it's much less of a headache to just avoid it to start with. So here we go. We got some new bugs. Gameplay bugs. Cards with becomes a copy of target card and gains this ability do not display the blue text of that ability. So be aware that they probably still have that ability given you can right click on it and use it, but it's not displaying properly.
Whoops.
Doubling season incorrectly doubles loyalty counters added from cost of loyalty abilities.
Whoa.
That's a big one.
That is a big one.
Yeah.
Because doubling season says if an effect would place one or more counters, blah, 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 blah. And as we learned very early on when Planeswalkers first arrived, way back, like 10 years ago, loyalty abilities, it's not an effect where you +2 Baby Jace. That's the cost. And doubling season...
It's a nice cost, but it's a cost.
Yeah, doubling season does not see you paying a cost and go, hey, you want some more? Nah. It does let you double loyalty counters when a Planeswalker enters the battlefield.
Which is usually enough to break the game.
Usually. But not...
This is important.
Yeah, rolling Baby Jace up +2 and getting +4, that's a different kind of break in the game.
Yeah. Yeah, and that actually surprises me that this was broken because Planeswalkers and Doubling Season have been together since Planeswalkers came out.
Yeah.
And we've always known Doubling Season was busted. So people have been doing this constantly. And I would guess that's something that they updated maybe when they were changing the Legend rule or something. They did a stealth update to fix something in the background. They broke it because, yeah, that's wrong. If your opponents are doing this, they are cheating. Be aware of that. If you are playing with Planeswalkers in Doubling Season and you don't even realize it, but when you go to plus it and you get double, you are now cheating. So don't do that. I would not touch Doubling Season until they fix this because you don't get a say in how much it adds. So it's really hard to argue you didn't realize you were doing this. I would just not touch it.
Like the I don't remember. My brain is telling me this is an XKCD thing, but it might not be. The 99 little bugs in the code. 99 little bugs.
Oh, yeah.
You take one down, patch it around. 127 little bugs in the code.
Yeah, it's very likely that. Okay, and so here's a funny one. If you cast Savage Stomp, which, as a reminder, the important part here is costs 2 less cast if it targets a dinosaur you control. With Gonti, Lord of Luxury, which says, holy crap, look at all that text. I'm not reading it to you. And your opponent controls a dinosaur, the cost will incorrectly be reduced by 2.
And it's because you're casting their copy of Savage Stomp with Gonti? Because you look at the top 4 cards of target opponent's library, exile one of them face down, and for as long as that card remains exiled, you may look at it, cast it, blah, 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 blah. So yeah. It's connected with their deck incorrectly. So if you cast it while their spell, while they control a dinosaur, Savage Stomp goes, word.
Yeah. The card doesn't realize that it's away from the rest of that side of the board.
Yeah.
So that one we can at least follow how it happens.
Yeah.
Okay. So be aware of that. Magic Online player rewards, boosters, and treasure chest can combine into the same object in the collection scene. Here's the workaround. Check show versions separately in the version filter when viewing cards. So this is really just organizational.
Yeah.
Shouldn't mess anything up, but there's a way to fix it. More interestingly, switching between different views and non-default sorting inviters can yield erratic results. As you know, erratic results is everything that Izzet has ever done. So this is a preview. Ravnica Part 3 is coming. Bam. Got it.
Return to Ravnica. Electric Boogaloo.
Return to the Ravnica.
Maybe that's when Jace gets
City
back
of Township of Land of Guilds.
Maybe that's when Jace gets his ass back to work.
Yeah, like he knows how to get there. I'm sure you just call in and go, sorry, I got stuck on another plane and forgot who I was and ended up in a romance novel and I don't even know, some kind of dragon messed up my head. And then Mrs. like, I didn't do it. And then everyone's like, right.
Sure you didn't. He's like, really? It wasn't me this time.
I would take the credit if I did.
Right.
Oh, he's right. He's right. Yeah. Oh, man. Ravnik is the best sitcom. Gonna go run a maze. But yeah, so I guess be aware that switching between different views and non-default sorting and binders can yield erratic results, whatever those might be. So,
nice.
Okay. Yeah, you can. There's a link here to report bugs, like always, in case you've encountered a new one. And take a look at the giant ongoing list. It's so long of things that need to be fixed. So be aware. And that's it for Magic Online, because I even checked the Tumblr for you guys, and there is nothing new.
Excellent.
Hoorah.
Okay, then. Well, it looks like then we are done with yonder episode.
Hoorah. So, contact info. You can find me on Twitter at SqueeGoblinNabob. There's no I in Goblin because I'm pretty sure I lost it at the convention I was at over the weekend. It's very sad. But yeah, I was at Cosplay America over the weekend. It was a lot of fun. I became the host of a lot of events by virtue of being the programming director. So naturally, I hosted a number of events wearing a blood-covered splicer mask and dressed up like a BioShock character, because that's what you do when they give you a microphone.
Yeah.
It was fun. But yeah, we had a lot of fun there, and obviously I'll be doing more of that in the future. But for right now, I think I'm out of conventions. I may wander into North Carolina Comic-Con just because it's in Durham and I can just day trip it because it's down the street. And that's in the middle of November, but otherwise I don't really have any plans for that. For the most part, for me, over the next week, it's going to be season 2 of Stranger Things comes out this weekend. And then next week, I'm going to go to watch Thor. So should be great. A nerdy couple of weeks.
Nice.
And that's really it for me right now. So go get him, Chewie.
I hurt my back.
Don't do that.
Too late.
Oh man, go back in time.
I'm pretty sure if I could do that, I would do much different things than not hurt my back.
Would you go back in time and save an ancient dragon? Then break standard rotation?
No.
That's probably wise.
It would be more like go back in time and give myself some lottery numbers.
Yeah, that could never go badly.
Nope.
Just give yourself wrong lottery numbers. History is fine.
Don't care about history. Want the money.
I respect your honesty.
Because when this baby gets up to 88 miles an hour, you're going to see some serious... Anyway, so, yeah. I don't know, man. My brain is mush. I drove to Ahoskie, North Carolina today, which a variety of people have said, what? Or, that sounds made up. Or, if you didn't want to, you could just say. But I assure you, it was a real place in the middle of nowhere, and I was gone for, like 8 hours. So that's fun. And at some point I hurt my back. So, brain no worky properly. My apologies. What's going on? So, there will be I think the second weekend of November? So, like, probably the 11th or 12th? Cap from the Lair of Lore and I, and anyone else that we can rope in, Bill, are going to be doing an all-day, possibly all-weekend, charity live stream on both of our Twitch channels, so the Mana Pool and Lair of Lore, for Take This, because that's who I did it for last year. And we're ironing out the details on the rare occasion when one of us isn't working, because he works weird hours, and I'm just always working on something, so... But once there are more details available, I will be sharing them on both shows and all over social media and all of that. But keep that weekend in mind for when to come be generous with your charitable donations. Right?
Hooray.
Right.
That sounds like a good plan.
Yeah, well, he's taking off like an entire week or more because
is he allowed to do that?
He's going to Vegas to get married, but he took off.
Fine.
Yeah, but he took off way longer than he actually needed, so he'll be back and not doing anything. And he's like, we should totally do it that weekend, or it's between the 9th and the 13th. And I'm like, we've got to do it on a weekend, so that's the 11th and 12th. So we might just make it like a full thing for that whole time and just come in and donate during any point of that. We don't know. Like I said, the details are still sketchy. We just know that's when we're doing it, somewhere in that window. So like I said, as more details emerge.
Details erupt. You're right. That does need to be a mechanic. Emerge has been done. We need erupt now.
Yeah, so as more details erupt, I will share them everywhere. The plan for at least one of those days is just multiplayer games all the time, because I have this Cap and I both have this ridiculous backlog of like awesome multiplayer games. So we're going to play them. Duh. Because that's what you do. Yay!
Yeah, sounds about right.
Like I said, we're going to try to rope other people, cough, cough, Bill, in on some of them. Quite possibly, yeah. Duck Game is one of the best. So let's see, what else? I guess while I'm on the content, what did I stream on Tuesday?
Last week?
I guess it had to be Overwatch, right?
I know that it was Overwatch by the time I got there.
Okay, well then, yeah.
Halloween event.
There you go. Because, yeah, the Halloween event's going on, and I have barely gotten to play, except when I'm streaming it, because I've been so busy, so that sucks. So that means I have to stream it so I actually get a chance to freaking play. So that'll be the plan for tomorrow night on twitch.tv/themanapool. Bill, you around tomorrow night? Or are you going to be buried under hours and hours of extra work because you took days off for the convention?
That's what I'll find out when I get there in the morning.
Fair enough.
That's always the adventure. You do a whole bunch of work before you leave to make sure that it's covered, and then when you get back, you find out that everything actually is on fire, and no one bothered to put it out, and when you're done putting it out, it's like 8 p.m. So we'll see.
Hopefully
I will let you know.
So, yeah. Over on youtube.com/themanapool, I am still working through the Lich King battles in Hearthstone, the Knights of the Frozen Throne expansion. I only have 3 more classes left to beat him with, and it's brutal. But more importantly, I finally started putting up videos for Cuphead. It was a gift.
Dun, dun, dun.
Right? It was a gift from Turbo, whose name I always mispronounce. Actually, wait. We're recording. Hang on. If I go... Wait. Hang on. If I go to Twitch, he sent me an actual, audio... Am I hosting anyone? I'm not. Okay. He sent me an actual audio clip of how to pronounce his first name. So you know what? I'm going to play that right now because I can't say it properly. Here we go. This is his first name.
Øystein.
There you go.
Oh, I get it.
Well, I mean, you shut up, Bill. You didn't hear it. There's the clip so you can hear it. So yeah,
excellent.
Øystein Kalas sent me, just call him Turbo, sent me Cuphead, and that's super awesome of him, and I was very excited to play. I installed it immediately, and on Saturday I recorded 3 videos, and then yesterday I finally got the first one all put together and rendered properly, and it went up for early release this morning. And Cuphead, for those that don't know, is a 2D side-scrolling boss rush shoot 'em up, essentially. Think Contra, or Metal Slug, or that other one that was on the Genesis that I never played. What was the Genesis version of Contra, Bill? Do you remember?
I think I just kept playing Contra for a decade.
Yeah, okay. But it's animated like an old... and it looks and sounds like an old 1930s style, Silly Symphony or Max Fleischer cartoon.
Which is amazing.
Which is amazing. The game is gorgeous. And the bosses are all huge and brilliant and hilarious. And the game is, as many have said, balls hard, but it's not unfair hard. It's not like what's my favorite example? Halo 3 on Legendary hard, where take 3 steps, a sniper you didn't see kills you in 1 shot, better restart. So you peek around a corner and you shoot him 1,800 times and he finally dies, and you take 3 more steps and another sniper you didn't see shot you in the face, better restart.
Those guys are jerks.
Yeah, that kind of hard annoys me, and it's why I never finished Halo 3 on Legendary. And in fact, it's why I never finished Halo 3, because that pissed me off so bad I just gave it back to Squanto. I'm like, here, take this back. I don't want it anymore.
That sounds like justified frustration.
Yeah. But this game, every single death that I've had thus far was totally my fault.
Oh, good.
And so, like, it's hard for me to get frustrated when I know, oh, okay, well, if I hadn't, all right, I got this. And then I die, and I'm like, oh, well, I didn't even see that guy. Okay. And then I die. I'm like, oh, well, that was me.
So this is more like a Mega Man death.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I guess my very first death was a little cheap, but only because I wasn't paying 100% attention.
Well, they taught you to pay attention. You were having fun looking at the beautiful 60 frames a second art.
Oh my God. It's so beautiful. Like, everything in the background, like, dances. During editing, I was actually not paying attention. I was watching the backgrounds. Because when I'm playing, you can't watch the backgrounds. So during editing, I'm just staring at the backgrounds like, oh my God, that's so pretty. So it's awesome that I get to edit these. But like one fight, you're in a nightclub and you're fighting two frogs with boxing gloves. But in the background, like you do, but in the background, it's like this insect nightclub, and they're like dancing bee girls and waiters walking around and patrons sitting at tables. And I was aware of all that, but I couldn't look at it because then the boss would kill me and I'd be pissed. So
yeah.
So yeah, like I said, I've got 3 of those videos recorded right off the bat. The first one is up. The plan is to get a second one up tomorrow, if my back doesn't keep me in bed, but it usually doesn't, so I think I'm fine there. Yeah. Oh my God, it's so beautiful, and it's so much fun. I was telling Bill before the episode started, the only reason I stopped recording was because the camera battery was dying, and I had to stop. I didn't want to stop recording. I wanted to keep playing. So yay. I think I've been in 2 actual levels, where there's platforming and stuff, and then everything else is a boss fight. Like, you go into the level, and there's your boss, and if you beat them, you're like, yay! And the story is adorable, and oh my God, it's so great. And if you already know what Cuphead is, you're probably already sick of hearing about Cuphead from other people. But, sorry.
Now you know.
It's so cool. So yeah, that will be another long-form series. I'm playing through this whole game on the YouTubes over the course of the next however many months, and it's going to be awesome. Awesome, Bill.
Awesome.
That too. So yeah, that's what's going on currently. I decided, I don't remember if I said this on this show or not, I've decided to skip the playing scary games just because it's October, because I don't like deadlines, and I really don't want to have to like force myself to play a game that I don't really feel like playing just because it's the end of October. So I'm just going to play what I want to play and skip over the scary games. I will play some scary games in the near future. I have a few that I'd like to play, but I'd rather play Cuphead.
That's fair.
Yeah. So that's the great thing about being my own boss, is I can do whatever the hell I want. So yeah, anyway, that's that. So that's twitch.tv/themanapool and youtube.com/themanapool. And of course, you can find me on all the social media places like facebook.com/themanapool and Twitter @themanapool. That one is the primary way to reach me. If you want to send me an email, that's Chewie, which is CHEWIE @themanapool.com. And
Patreon.
Right. If you want to help support what I do with all of this content of all of its various sorts, you could just tell people, hey, you should check out this streamer, YouTuber, podcast, whatever, all 3.
Internet mammal.
This internet mammal. Who are you calling a mammal?
WotC.
I'm covered in hair, excuse me. Yeah.
It's my first clue.
And the second was that I don't lay eggs that he knows of.
I assume.
But anyway, yeah, spread the word. Or you could go subscribe on YouTube or follow me on Twitch. If you're feeling generous, you can actually subscribe on Twitch. Or if you have Amazon Prime, did you know that having Amazon Prime means that you get a free subscription token every month that you can give to any streamer you like? And I highly recommend you give that to us smaller streamers, because we appreciate it, because we've only got a tiny number of subscribers, so everyone is a huge percentage. Whereas the bigger streamers, just another sub, thanks. Just saying. So if you didn't know that, hey, now you do. You should totally, if you don't come give it to me, you should totally go give it to somebody that's a small to mid-sized streamer, because we will love you for it. You should totally give it to me, though.
Yeah.
And of course, the big way to help support what I do with all of this insane amount of content creation is on Patreon. It's patreon.com/themanapool. You can get YouTube videos and Manapool episodes early. You can get the early stuff and access to the odds and ends, all the stuff recorded before and after both Monday Night Magic and the Manapool. That is uncensored and unfiltered. And on this very episode, it involved us talking about Saturday Morning Watchmen and Turbo Teen. And my mother, the car. Yup.
There's not really much to add to that. It's weird.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just us talking about
if you want to hear us react to it, then that's a great thing to do.
It is.
Because Chewie hadn't seen Saturday Morning Watchmen, and I certainly hadn't seen this stupid car thing. So, yeah, that was part of what distracted us before we started the show. We seemed a little bit loopy.
A little bit. But if you do sign up for the odds and ends for each show will go up within a week after that show going public. So, like, another of tomorrow's plan is to get the odds and ends for last week's Manapool, well, this week's, I guess, Manapool episode up. And then later in the week, I will get up the odds and ends for this very episode. So, no more of this waiting months and months and months to get the odds and ends. You'll get it within a week. Yay. And, of course, you can get the odds and ends, the early stuff, and get your name on the end slate for every episode that goes up in each month, or every YouTube video, that is, that goes up, and also every podcast. I will read off your names. For instance, this episode is brought to you by, in the bizarre order that Patreon gives it to me, Kim Ho, Andrew Hunt, Al, Lance Delicious, Temu Hellasharyu, he told me how to pronounce his name, Daniel Hall, John Morris, Stuart Slough, I hope. He did not tell me how to pronounce his name. PJ McMullen, Bosco Brittain, who I'm still pretty sure is going by something else now. Casey, Nathan Hay, AJ Javieres, Cody Buckawing, Jacob Jansons, Jason Kaus, Gothic Man, that's Patrick, Brian DeLucci, Stark Maximum, Dan Holm, Michael Millerburn, and the Beast Father, Aaron Goodwine. Thank you all so very much for your generosity. I couldn't do it without you. Quite literally. Couldn't do it without you.
It would be difficult.
And of course, yeah, right? And of course, thank you all out there so much for watching. Not watching. My brain's on YouTube because I really want to play.
You could be staring at YouTube. It's still possible.
It is possible, yeah. The shows go up. Both Monday Night Magic and the Manapool go up in video form on YouTube, if that would help you listen to them more easily. Usually the day after they go out in audio form, usually. So yeah, let me try that again. Thank you all so very much for listening, and go play some Magic.